Hear me in the World Vibes Radio. Why they my use ya? Not take no talkie. Be careful of some places where you walk. Some no know God, them no read Bible. Then we shoot you down with them rifle. Do not bring no guns, come to town. It's World Vibes, tell them leave that at home. Them bitch and bring love, come to town. It's I say spread the joy around. World Vibes Radio. I'm not taking this now. Let's go and teach your youth them. Play some good music. Educate them.
Yo, check this out. This is Anthony Cruz, and you don't know it's the Diaspora Connection featuring Kabbalah for Jamaicans with Joshua. Keep it locked, man. Blaze it hot. Anthony Cruz said that.
Now this is Prophecy, the Judge General out of Jamaica. And whenever I'm on the highways, going through the byways, I always stay in tune to Diaspora Connection featuring Kabbalah for Jamaicans with Joshua. I swear and I honor that I'll find a way to enlighten my people so they can make it through their days. Cause I don't want to see nobody banks, body banks.
I've lifted mine eyes and I've seen the sign of the times that the Marcus prophesied and not in long time. Oh Lord, with the ignorance of our people has held us captives of our own mind. Can't you see we're running out of time? Let's change our lives, my brothers and sisters. Answer the calling of the Father. He is the only one that's willing to save us divine. Get ready for a new time. I've seen a new sign. In I bingy chant right. Mother Nature revealed it, and I do believe it. Yeah. Get ready for a new time. I've seen a new sign. In I bingy chant right. Mother Nature revealed it, and I do believe it. Whoa,
Cause we know we're not gonna get away. With the wrongs we continue to display. A scripture from the good book say, according to our works we shall get paid. We've gotta be sure the things we've done has been worthy under the sun.
Get ready for a new time. I've seen a new sign. And I bingy chant right. Mother Nature revealed it, and I do believe it. Get ready for a new time. I've seen a new sign. And I bingy chant right. Mother Nature revealed it, and I do believe it. Whoa, whoa. So then I bingy chant right. That you might hate. Cause in this new time we gotta live to love and everyone learn to appreciate. Let's change our lives, my brothers and sisters. Answer the calling of the Father. He's the only one that's willing to save us divine. Get ready for a new time. I've seen a new sign. And I bingy chant right. Mother Nature revealed it, and I do believe it. Get ready for a new time. I've seen a new sign. And I bingy chant right. Mother Nature revealed it, and I do believe it. Whoa.
Cause we know we're not gonna get away. With the wrongs we continue to display.
It's a while since I've been trying to get on. But you keep on saying you don't know what to do. Don't know much about you, yet you're always on my mind. So all you gotta do is leave it to time. Everything will be fine. Time alone can do anything. Time can move any mountain. Time will make you realize someone's in love with you. Baby, it's true. Oh. Skibidi-bidi-doo, yeah. So what are we gonna do? Punchiloo, now you know how I feel. Will you ever realize that I'm for real? Let me assure you, not promise you, I won't break your heart. Now you know it right from the start. So leave it to time. Time alone can do anything. Time will move any mountain. Time will make you realize someone's in love with you. Baby, it's true. Oh yeah. Baby, it's true. See, yeah. Since I've been trying to get it on with you, but you keep on saying you don't know what to do. Make up your mind and give it a try. Now you know the score. 'Cause girl, I've been knocking your door. So leave it to time. Time alone can do anything. Time can move any mountain. Time will make you realize someone's in love with you. Baby, it's true. Oh yeah. Time alone can do anything. Time can move any mountain. Time will make you realize someone's in love with you. Baby, it's true. Oh.
Don't ever forget where you're coming from. No. Don't ever forget those who helped you along your way. Your ego flies high to the sky. Remember what goes around comes around. Everyone needs someone, but it seems you've forgotten. You should never burn your bridges behind you, 'cause you never know what life has in store for you. Always do the good and good will follow, 'cause you never know what happens tomorrow. Time is the master, yet time can be disaster. Help a brother if he's down, yeah. Love and be loved, and you'll be blessed from above. But it seems you've forgotten. You should never burn your bridges behind you, 'cause you never know what life has in store for you. Always do the good and good will follow, 'cause you never know what happens tomorrow.
master, yet I can be disaster. Help a brother if he's down. Love and be loved, and you'll be blessed from above. But it seems you've forgotten. Yeah, you should never burn your bridges behind you, 'cause you never know what life has in store for you. Always do the good and good will follow, 'cause you never know what happens tomorrow. You should never burn your bridges behind you, 'cause you never know what life has in store. Oh, no, no. Always do the good, and good will follow, 'cause you never. Oh, no, no.
Your smile, I can see you rising right before me. I can't believe my eyes. In your touch, I can feel the transformation as my heart melts away. Could it be that you have the gift to capture my heart and answer my wish? Could it be that you have what it takes for love to survive in your smile? Your smile, your words, I can read between the lines and I see clearly where you're coming from. And in your eyes, I can see you really want me, but won't say, please stay. Could it be that you have the gift to capture my heart and answer my wish? Could it be that you have what it takes for love to survive in your smile? In your Your smile, I can see a new horizon right before me. I can't believe my eyes when your touch. I can feel the transformation as my heart melts away. Could it be that you have the gift to capture my heart and answer my wish? Could it be that you have what it takes for love to survive in your smile? In your Could it be that you have the gift to capture my heart and answer my wish? Could it be that you have what it takes for love to survive in your smile?
My Father, my God, yeah, yes. You've been my Father for as long as I can remember. A Father till the end. You've been my friend for all eternity, the closest friend to me, yes. And when the road of life seemed rough and rocky, you were there for me. You keep me strong with your blessings and true with your mercy. You'll always be my Father, my friend, my God, my guide. Forever you will be, and I will walk by your side. My Father, my friend, my God, my guide. My love for you I'll never hide. No. You are my God, the only one I ever had. You proved your love for me, yes. You are my guide. Your footsteps I will walk with pride. My praises I'll give to thee. You're my Father, my friend, my God, my guide. Forever you will be, and I will sing by your side. My Father, my friend, my God, my guide. My love for you I'll never hide. Oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God, my God.
1 2 1 2.
When the road of life seemed rough and rocky, you were there for me. You keep me strong with your blessings and true with your mercy. You'll always be my Father, my friend, my God, my guide. Forever you will be, and I will walk by your side. My Father, my friend, my God, my guide. My love for you I'll never hide.
AJ Brown
My Father, my friend,
on the time rhythm.
my God, my guide. Forever you will be, and I will walk by your side. My Father, my friend, my God, my guide. My love for you I'll never hide. You're my Father, my friend, my God, my guide. Forever you will be, and I will sing by your side. You're my Father, my friend, my God, my guide. My love for you I'll never hide.
Yes, that is AJ Brown on the time rhythm.
My God,
Good evening, everyone. You're listening to Diaspora Connection featuring Kabbalah for Jamaicans. My name is Joshua. We are here every Tuesday and Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. in Jamaica. So, welcome to all of our new listeners. What we do here is we teach the wisdom of Kabbalah, which is the ancient Israelite wisdom that Moses received on Mount Sinai. It is based on the 5 books of Moses, and it is a science. It is not a religion. What do I mean that it is a science and not a religion? Well, when you look at most religions, they have a particular practice or way that you practice the faith. And it is based upon doctrines. Some based on truth, some based on fable. Yes? Kabbalah is a science that is based upon the activities of the sages that proved, yes, I use the word proved, these sayings, in the sense that they came from the mind, the mouth of the Creator. It was revealed. Now, if a person really wants to ask or look for proof, the true only proof is you living it and proving it for yourself. That's the proof. Now, being raised a Christian in a Jamaican household, I was raised on the teachings of Christianity. And I grew up with a particular set of beliefs. Now, I was fortunate enough to have our grandmother, my maternal grandmother, living with us, and she always had a Bible on her knee. Always with her head down in the scriptures, reading mostly Psalms, Proverbs, but Old Testament, New Testament, entire Bible. And my mother was a very strong woman of faith. Now, we weren't raised religious by any means. But, when we were younger, we went to church and we grew up God-fearing, okay? Doing the right thing. Yeah, we were mischievous as young boys and girls, but for the most part, we definitely believed in God. And of course, Jesus was our savior, right? Not so much, we weren't a big Jesus family, even though all Christians are, but it was God, right? About God. Now, there was something in me that made me want to read the Bible. I remember when I was a youngster even before I was 10 years old, I used to watch cartoons. And my favorite was Green Lantern. And, I always dreamed of being a superhero. Not so much with the powers, but to be able to help people. And that's something that stuck with me all through my life. And based upon certain circumstances in my life, I used to play football, soccer. And I had gotten 3 head injuries in a year. To the point where my mother said, if you set your foot outside of the house again, I'm going to break your foot for you. Oh, boy. So, no more going out and play football. I think I was about 17, 18. 17, 18. And I started to feel remorse, for things I did in my life. And to make a long story short, I got saved. I went through that experience where I accepted Jesus as my Lord and Savior. And, really having that emotional experience, breakdown, crying experience. Not one time, but several times. And just wanted to change my life, live for God. So I became a Bible student. My natural father wasn't around. He and my mother divorced when I was 7 years old, and therefore wasn't really around, as most Jamaican fathers of that generation. But that actually helped me, because I think the fact that my natural father wasn't around, it caused me to seek my heavenly Father. So, where would I find out about my heavenly Father? In the Bible, because didn't Jesus himself say, "Call no man on earth your father"? So, dove into the scriptures, and really, it was looking into the scriptures that really taught me how to be a man. Like, even though I had 3 older brothers, what did they teach me? How to be mischievous, right? And to, to do the things that boys do. Certainly don't tell you to seek after God. Jesus also said, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you." So I decided to seek the kingdom. Right? Learn about the kingdom. Learn about God. Learn about his ways. And start to hold on to some of the promises that he makes. Or all the promises, really. So, had that experience. Got married at a very early age because I realized that, part of me wanted to be a playboy, the other part of me wanted to have a wife. Realizing that the path of getting a wife would put me more in the straight and narrow. So I got married at 23. Found a wonderful woman. We're still married to this day. Billy Ainara. Thank God. 49 years this year. 39 years this year. And started a family very early. So that by the time I was 25, I had 2 kids. And a wife. And sought to be a responsible parent and man and husband. But didn't really have many examples of that growing up. And especially for those, of the Jamaican community, it's very difficult for us because most men, most fathers in the Jamaican community have difficulty with their parent-child relationships. If they happen to be in the home still, it maybe there is, you hope that there's good relationship with the children, but a lot of Jamaican kids grow up with their parents being less than model, I should say, because of the trauma of our past. But bless God, Jamaica's a blessed country. Such a blessed country. And predominantly a Christian state. Hey, we're in the Guinness World Book of Records because we have the most churches per square mile than any other country in the world. For real, check it out. Guinness World Book of Records. But yet, we still find ourselves on the top 10 list of crime-ridden countries. How is that possible? What impact does the Christian churches have on the country if that's still happening? And if you look at Jamaican society today, things are deteriorating. Yes, there's a lot of positive investment and positive movement and positive growth that's happening in certain areas. But in other areas, people are becoming very indifferent. And that's unfortunate. But that's not happening only in Jamaica. A lot of places all over the world. But since this program is Kabbalah for Jamaicans, we're going to address the Jamaican situation. And we're going to share the tools that can help the people of Jamaica to get out of the mud and to rise up and to have true abundance. Yes? Not through religion, but through science. Kabbalah is a science. And you have to prove it to yourself. Embrace it and test it. Yes? Test it. They test out the tools that you're being given, that you're being taught. Things that you can do. Not just things to believe, but things to do. Rituals. And majority of them require listening. Just listening. For the most part. And then doing. But you first have to listen. You first have to re-educate yourself or educate yourself. To study Kabbalah or to embrace Kabbalah doesn't mean that you have to put down whatever faith you have. You can keep that. If you have an open mind to understand that there may be more truth out there than you know at the current moment. Do not believe. It behooves you not to believe that whatever it is that you do believe, or whatever faith you are following at the moment, that you have the answers or the practicality of it. And not to keep your head in the sand, but to truly question the things that you believe. And ask yourself, where is it bringing you and those around you who do the same thing? Is it making the world a better place? Is it making you a better person? Until people really believe and feel that they can make a difference, they won't try to. They won't try to. They just live out their lives, trying to live it as comfortable for themselves and their family as possible. Enjoy the fleeting pleasures of life to the best of their ability. Grow old if they're so blessed to raise grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and then die. But then they will reincarnate again in a different body. That soul will reincarnate again if they didn't complete their mission. Yes, reincarnation is a fact. It is real. The soul never dies. Even the scriptures tell us that when the body dies, the soul goes back to him who gave it. Right? It goes back to he who gave. It doesn't say depending on what type of life they lived. It doesn't say that. It says it goes back to the one who gave it. Kabbalah teaches you that we all have a mission. And when we don't accomplish the mission, we have to come back. What is that mission? The realization, okay? The realization while you are in the body, because death brings you back to your origins, but your soul may have left a residue that it needs to pay its debts for. It may have left a residue while being in a physical body in a realm that those debts need to be, they must be accounted for. There's no getting away from it. In Kabbalah, we call it tikkun. Tikkun. Which means correction. What corrections do you have to make? Corrections to what? Corrections to holes you created in the fabric of the universe because of your negative actions. Or you didn't reveal the light that you were supposed to reveal. You got distracted. We all forget the mission that we agreed to when we're born. We all do. And only by God's grace, we are awakened at some time in our life, hopefully, to that mission. That is what awakening means. That is what awakening means. It's like they say, when you see something, you can't unsee it. It's forever in your mind. It's like when you wake up. You're like, wow. When you begin to see reality, when you begin to see the illusions of this world, when you begin to realize that there's an alternative, when you realize that we are but players in a large game, a very complex game of life. As they say, world without end. But there will be an end, because it was spoken of in Genesis. God created the world in 7 days. Well, I say 6 days. He worked on the 7th, but he rested on the 7th day. He created man on the 6th day. And that 6th day of creation, where man was created, is known as Rosh Hashana. Rosh Hashana this year occurs starting the evening of September 22nd. Monday, September 22nd. It's the Tuesday and the Wednesday. That is the beginning, the first day of Libra, the month of Libra. The astrological sign of Libra is the birthday of mankind. And that occurs this year on the 22nd of September. 12 days from now. And for those of you who are interested, we will be streaming the Kabbalistic Rosh Hashana connection right here on Kabbalah for Jamaicans through our Zoom link. It is free. If you'd like to know how to get it, you can do one of two things. You can call me on my WhatsApp. That is country code +1 516 965 5700. Again, country code +1 516 965 5700. Or you can go to our website, which is www.kabbalahforjamaicans.com. That's KABBALAH, the number 4, and Jamaicans. JAMAICANS.com. KabbalahforJamaicans.com. Go there and look at our news tab, and you will see how to connect. It will give you access to the Zoom links for the Saturday Shabbat connections, Friday night and Saturday morning, as well as the Zohar readings, the 2 Zohar readings that are dedicated to Jamaica. The Zohar is the principal text of Kabbalah, and it is the tool that we use to connect to the energy of the Torah. Kabbalah teaches that the Torah, That which is written in the Torah is concealed. The light force, the energy of the Creator, is hidden within the letters, the Hebrew letters in the Torah, in the form of stories. And when we read it, when we read words of Torah, we are connecting to that energy. The Zohar enables us to truly connect to that energy because it, in one way, it's intellectual insight as to what things mean, but energetically, it connects us directly to the light force, the source of creation. Just by listening or scanning with our eyes the Aramaic. Hebrew is read from right to left, opposite of English. And I tell you, my friends, the Hebrew letters is the magic. That is the secret sauce, the Hebrew letters. In fact, Kabbalah tells us that the entire universe is made from the Hebrew letters. Because when the Creator wanted to make creation, the first thing he did was create the 22 Hebrew letters, the DNA of creation. The DNA of creation. And second, after creating the letters, he made the Torah. He wrote the Torah. And then, when he wanted to create creation, he looked inside the Torah. So the Torah is a blueprint of what we are seeing and what we are experiencing in the world, in the universes, right? All come from the Torah. When I read the Torah, when I read the 5 books of Moses, I don't see anything about the creation of cosmos and everything that is going on and that type of thing. I mean, I see it in Genesis 1, right? But all of the magnificence, everything that's going on, my goodness, is coming from the Torah. Wow. Wow. Just think about that. The Torah is a blueprint, and we just look at the Torah as a series of stories and history. My friends, it is so much more than that. So much more. But you need the key to unlock it. And the key is the Zohar. The Kabbalah for Jamaicans, the Kabbalah Learning Center of Jamaica, which is a non-profit organization established in the United States, a valid 501c3, so any donations that you make to it is tax-free by the U.S. government. We have a food security army that buys, prepares, cooks, and packages and delivers the food. Lunches for at least 100 people a month in the Spanish Town area, in and around the care center, because of the donations of our generous supporters. My friends, growing up as a Christian, we had Jesus as an example, that we are told that he lived a life of service. That is what our lives should be, a life of service. But because of nature, because of desire to receive for the self alone, because of the physical matter of our bodies that tends to impact our behavior, because of that, we need a counteracting force. And that counteracting force is wisdom. And what we offer here is the wisdom of Kabbalah. I used to study and practice Hinduism and had a guru. So from time to time, you'll hear me share concepts from the Eastern spiritual philosophies, such as the Upanishads, the Vedas, the Bhagavad Gita. Right? Because meditation is a critical tool, and the Kabbalah that I've learned at the center does not teach meditation at that level. But I'm thankful that I have both, because I believe both is the proper recipe. So, as I had mentioned, the 6th day of creation is Rosh Hashana, and it is the birthday of mankind, the day when Adam was born. That is quickly approaching. And for the last 2 weeks, we've been playing lectures, Rosh Hashanah preparatory lectures, so that people get an understanding of what this cosmic opening, this upcoming cosmic opening is all about, and how to take advantage of it. All of the wisdom that is revealed by the Creator is for us to take advantage of. Now, last night we played a lecture from David Grudman on the Rosh Hashanah preparatory series. Tonight we're going to continue with our study. But tonight I'll be playing something from Marcus Weston, Kabbalah student. He's British, lives in the UK, and is a great teacher. So we're going to continue with our study tonight, and I want to welcome Brother Paul. I see you out there, and Sister Simka. Welcome to the program. Which Simka is this? Hi, Simka. Welcome. Maybe Simka has a place where she can't talk. Well, thank you for listening. I appreciate you. All right, let's see. Right, so we're going to continue with our study tonight. And right, this lecture is from Marcus Weston. You are listening to Diaspora Connection featuring Kabbalah for Jamaicans. My name is Joshua. Again, we're here every Tuesday and Wednesday night, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Jamaica time, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern. And on Tuesday night, there's an added bonus where we do a 30-minute broadcast of the Zohar reading dedicated to Jamaica from 10:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. We read 30 minutes of Zohar. Kabbalah Center students gather on Zoom and read words of the Zohar in Aramaic and English, sometimes Spanish or different language. Because we strongly believe that when the Zohar is read, or any connections that are made to the Zohar, it reveals tremendous light in the universe, light that heals. And God knows we need that. So anytime the words of Zohar are said, practiced, scanned with our eyes, all of that is through the merit of the Creator. So I hope that this upcoming lecture helps you to understand the tremendous opportunity that is before us. Again, Rosh Hashanah begins Monday night, September 22nd, and lasts for 2 days. The Tuesday, the 23rd, and the Wednesday, the 24th. And basically, it's the blowing of the shofar that is the main ingredient, the most impactful ingredient in those 2 days. Listening to the blowing of the shofar. Okay? So let's see what Marcus Weston has to tell us about restoring our light.
Thank you, David. And thank you, everyone, for attending the High Holiday Seminar. That is the fundraiser for the Carenberg Scholarship Fund. I can't tell you how excited I am to be here with you tonight for many reasons. One of the main reasons is that I have the opportunity to be here and co-teach this segment with my good friend and fellow teacher, Marcus Weston. Marcus, I'm a big fan of yours. I just want you to know how excited I am to be with you and be doing this together. So let's just talk about the big picture for a moment. We have the 30 days of Virgo, which is leading us to what's called the new moon of Libra, Rosh Hashana, and then the first 10 days to Yom Kippur. These are the days of decision about how our destiny is going to turn out for the coming year. And throughout these high holiday seminars, we'll be going deeper and deeper into the subject, into the technology of Rosh Hashanah and the tools that we use. So how we can break out of our own slavery, victim consciousness, and be what we're meant to be in this world, the masters of our destiny. And the tools we use is tefillah, which is prayer, downloading information, connecting to the Hebrew letters, which is a whole discussion in itself, and we'll be getting into that in future weeks. Teshuvah, self-reflection, how we can return to our godlike nature. Tzedakah, changing our destiny by being the cause through our acts of uncomfortable charity against our nature. And the shofar, starting from the first day of Elul until Yom Kippur, we blow the shofar as a means to break those hardened shells, the klipot, over our souls that we formed out of our reactive behavior, our fears, selfishness, etc., throughout the year. So today we're going to discuss Teshuvah, what it is, and how do we know if we're doing it correctly. So I'm going to turn it over now. Marcus, please share with us what's your take? How would you explain Teshuvah? Now remember, we've got different kinds of people who are listening, right? We've got people who are hearing this for the first time. We've got people who think they know what they're doing and maybe not get it really. There are people who have been doing this for 100 years and don't even question it anymore. And then there are those people that really, really want to know and really want to have a new breakthrough. So Marcus, how would you answer that?
Especially by the subject of Teshuvah, but also I think I'm more excited by the spin that we're going to give on Teshuvah, because I think you and me and our personalities are quite hammering, right? I think traditionally we've been very much of the ilk where Teshuvah is about almost kind of beating yourself into a pulp, letting that cleanse out some good. If you squeeze a stone hard enough, you're going to get water. And I'm really excited by not doing that this year. And I think the reason why I'm so excited that we're doing this section this year is because I think in the last few months, I think we've been through ourselves personally tremendous pain that has shifted the way that we should see or can see Teshuvah. And what I mean by that is this, that we know that the days of Virgo and the days of Rosh Hashana, of Libra, are all about, certainly in Virgo, are about accounting. And we know that we're accounting, which is the list that we're going to start thinking about what we can cleanse in our past and all these things. And they account for personal actions, for personal energy, for finances, for many things that we wish to change for the next cycle of a year. But there's a very interesting thing I read about how the Creator sees, how the light sees these high holidays. And there are 3 words that are used. It says Rachamim, Slicha, and Ratzon, meaning Rachamim means mercy, Slicha means forgiveness, and Ratzon means desire. And the way that I wish to kind of angle my part of this, is that you cannot have the slicha, you cannot have that kind of cleanse of teshuvah unless you feel the rakamim, the positivity, the real positivity, as you say in your words, Batia, that you're loved. And I love that, that you're loved and that it's about your greatness. If you don't feel that positivity, it's not slicha, it's not real forgiveness. There's no real cleanse, but also ratzon, that there has to be a frame of a new desire in the place of an old desire, which created a situation that you might be thinking there's teshuvah about. So before we get into the mechanics, that for me is exciting. The fact that we're doing this because I think we've been through a few things, and that it has to be framed in that rachamim, in that positivity, and it has to be ended with the ratzon, the new desire.
Can you explain that? Because desire, people. I know from my experience when I have this discussion with students, I think the majority of people walk around with a lot of shame, and the shame is about being indoctrinated into religious thinking. And it doesn't matter what religion is, and you don't even have to have a religion to be a religious thinker, which basically the premise is we start off with, I'm born, I'm not okay. Either I was born through sin or I'm not okay in some other ways. But if you follow the rules, if I follow the rules you tell me to follow, if you do what I do, what you want me to do, then maybe I'll be okay. And what we don't realize is that the tikkun that we're cleansing is the filter. So even now, as I'm speaking, and I've had so many conversations with students, obviously, as teachers and students in this time, and if you have a teacher and you haven't been running after your teacher yet, I highly recommend to do so, to really help to break that tikkun, which is the filter. What's the filter? The filter is how I perceive myself in this world, which is distorted. Right off the bat, it's distorted, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and it's interesting because I think people will agree with you, and they'll say, yeah, I don't like that kind of religiosity of thinking. And then subconsciously, they'll hear you say, I really recommend you go get a teacher. And of course, blindly, they'll run to get a teacher.
Or don't tell me what to do.
Exactly.
Don't tell me what to do.
And what's beautiful about it is that the underlying frame of reactivity or of belief is the point.
Exactly.
And I think what a teacher can give, if you find the right teacher, is because you can't see yourself, right? You don't see yourself.
I agree.
And so that teacher gift might be able to see a frame of you, which is the underlying frame of allowing, accepting, interpreting, understanding life.
Right. Now that's the merciful way, but there's the other option of the people around you, right? The people around us, what do? They press our buttons. Because of you, I'm unhappy. Because of you, I don't, walk on that side of the street anymore. Right. Because of this incident, this is the way I am now. Because of what happened to me, I close my heart down. Is when they change, then I'll be okay. Yeah. So this is our golden opportunity in this month. We can do it throughout the year, yes. But this month, we've got the cosmos on our side to really acknowledge the filter. And so how do you know? And the tikkun is the filter. Tikkun is a belly button. It's like your belly button. It's not your belly button. It's like a belly button. We don't think about it, but we perceive the world that way. This is why teshuvah, I believe, I'm so excited for us to be talking about it, because I believe it's really the most misunderstood of all the tools. Even I think more misunderstood than giving tzedakah, which is another subject. But for teshuvah, the whole idea is I am not my bad habit. I am not even though my body consciousness may be in the middle of an addiction. I can't stop cheating on my wife, or I can't stop doing these drugs, or I really would like, to stop being an emotional eater. Or my problem is jealousy. Here's a typical example, right? So a student said to me, I took a class, I heard it in the class. My tikkun, which is what we're doing here for teshuvah, we don't usually put those two together, but that's really what it is. My tikkun is I'm jealous. I said, no, your tikkun is you're not jealous. Jealousy is pointing the way to your real tikkun. Jealousy is your reactive life strategy for your tikkun, which is I'm not enough. When we went into
it's a coping mechanism.
I'm not enough.
Yeah.
So that's why I believe teshuvah is such a painful topic that people either like blindly say, I can't handle the pain, just tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Or the heck with this, I'm out. Or I don't believe in this stuff, because the pain of looking within and identifying with our garbage. We are not our garbage. You are not your garbage. I'm not my garbage. You are a diamond in the garbage. And I think the sooner that we all start thinking that way, I'm a diamond in the garbage.
I think also what people do is because many people, I guess, listening are lifelong students. People have been around for many years, some people, and so they've done this before. They've kind of made a list and done some things they should, kind of apologize for. And everyone sends that text before the holiday. I'm sorry, forgive me for anything I've done, which just, which makes me laugh all the time.
Me too.
But I think, the way the ego also kicks in is it just numbs the process, and you don't do it properly, right? You don't do it properly, because these days of Teshuvah, and it's interesting, the days between Rosh Hashana and Kippur are called the days of Teshuvah. And they really create, and it's interesting, there's 10 days, of course, because it creates the vessel for the entire year. Every one of those 10 days from Rosh Hashana to Yom Kippur creates the vessel for the year, meaning what is your capacity to receive for the entire year? What will you want for the year? And that's the issue. If you don't do this work properly, and we still perhaps have to choose what properly means. But if you're not doing this work properly, what we're saying is that your desire for the year will be diminished. What you want throughout the year will be less, and you won't even realize. You'll love things that are not as good for you. You'll love the wrong people. You'll love relationships that don't perhaps fulfill you the most. You'll love or chase great advice, which turns out to be not so great. You'll chase time-wasting opportunities because your desire is small.
Right.
But you've done the work, right? Because you went through that lecture and you heard those people speaking, and that's
the rituals, yeah.
And we have to almost stop talking. How is it that people are going to get that kind of work?
Right. So let's talk about, there's different sages throughout the years. There's Rabbi Yonah, he's got 20 steps. And then there's the 7 steps of practical.
That's my addiction, Batya. For the last 10 years, I think I've given that class 100 times. And I've been addicted, I think, myself to that whole kind of churning process, that if there's no pain, it's not real.
Right.
I'm over that.
We're going to get into that. I want to talk about what that pain, there's different kinds of pain. And then there's, what we traditionally have taught is the 4 steps of tshuva. And then let's talk about that. And then I'm going to give you give everybody my cliff notes on that, because, for those of you who know me as a teacher, I'm a bottom line manifester, as I know you are as well. Forget the mumbo jumbo. Every time I get an angel reading or I get an astrology reading, and then she starts to tell me, your north node is in your south node in Uranus, whatever it is, it's like, I don't want to hear the mumbo jumbo. What does it mean? Get down to the bottom line. Same thing here. Let's get down to the bottom line. In the portion of Nassau, there's a whole article. I do encourage you, look at my, see my beautiful set of Zohar behind me, volume 10 here, Nassau. In verse 23, just really because lack of time, I'm going to get straight to the English. But if you look on the screen, you'll see, you scan the Hebrew real quick, and we'll get to the point of this. It says there that when a person repents, repentance in English is a mistranslation. Teshuvah does not mean repentance. Repentance doesn't mean I'm sorry, please forgive me because I'm bad, or something like that. That's usually how people interpret it. No, it means return. We're returning the hey to the vav of the yud k vav k. And it says here that a person does that, they restore whatever damage they did from above. First of all, where's above? Let's ask that question. They say, how does a person restore damage? How do we restore the damage we did? And, we all have damage. There are many things, I don't know about you, Marcus, but I know there are things in my life I'm not proud of. Thank God I found Kabbalah, because, it probably would have gotten, not probably, I'm sure it would have gotten much worse. But thank God I was able to turn my life around when I started on my Kabbalah path. it says when a man or a woman shall commit any sin, we'll talk about, let's park that for a minute. Then they shall confess their sins and make restitution, meaning return. Repentance restores everything. It repairs above and it repairs below, restoring himself, restoring the whole universe. Marcus, what do you think that means? Let me hear your take on that.
that's a huge question.
Well, pick any part of it, because there's lots of things that
I'll pick up on two things.
Translated or misunderstood.
My Aries brain recalls two things. So first of all, that hay that we're returning to the Yud Vav, right? That hay represents the lowest form of our desire. Meaning, if you do teshuvah, what you're doing is you're identifying the clues of situations that you think need correcting, the way you handle that, the person that you mistreated, the people that you ignore, the action that was disastrous, the things that you regret, the stuff that you're not proud of, that kind of whole master list. It filters down, and if it's done properly and profoundly, it filters down to perhaps a singular desire. In other words, because of your need to be recognized, that's why that you were outlandish there, you were concealed there, you were suppressed there, you shut down there, you aggressed there, but it comes down to one desire. And that desire ultimately is a force that you want to give away. All of us have some kind of a force that we're just done with, a force of our ego that we're done with, lest we reap another year. And we don't want another year. We have the opportunity for a new year. And I think probably based on, certainly in our lifetimes, never before have we needed a new year. I mean, for goodness sake, last year, 2020 has been extraordinary. And not to go into the mumbo jumbo, Batia, but the astrological phenomena that's planted for December 21st this year is called the Messiah gene, right? So what we're coming out of and what we're coming into is perhaps the greatest pivot spiritually, physically, that we've seen this lifetime. So we don't want another year. We have to have a new year.
Exactly.
And the word sin, just to give some Kabbalistic understanding of that, the Rav used to say always, the word sin in Hebrew is avirah. And it means literally to transfer or to pass, because your desire has been misplaced. Your desire for the light, your desire for the real spiritual work, your desire for restriction, your desire, because what's the ultimate thing we desire is to fulfill our spiritual purpose. That's the only thing we desire. And we've replaced that desire with something momentary, fleeting, superficial, perhaps good tasting in the moment. But that's the hay that we're returning. We're replacing that old desire for the greater desire.
Yeah. So confessing the sin. So I agree with you, obviously. My take on it is that, Teshuvah restores everything. It's really interesting that it restores everything. And let's think about this. It's very hard to understand this if a person is identifying with their body. This is who I am. This is my identity. This is my house. This is my husband. This is my kids. This is my job. This is my money. This is my assumptive natural abilities. These are mine. Right away, when a person thinks like that, already disconnected from the life force of the creator. Notice the angle or from what perspective this sentence is coming from. If you look on the screen and you read it again, it's coming not from a place of, from my physical self. And this is why I think people get very confused. Mine. It's mine. No, the minute we say something's mine, we cut God out of the process. We cut the creator out of the process, and we're left alone with limitations, pain, and suffering. That's what we're left with. To the extent that something is mine and I have to give it up or change it, I'm left with pain and suffering. This is where it comes from. Physical pain, emotional pain, health pain, money pain, relationship pain comes from this desire to receive for the self alone. I've cut God out of the process. But look at the way the sentence is even, the assumption in the sentence is when a person commits any sin. What does that mean? When a person takes their precious God force energy. That's what we are. We are infinite beings. We're conscious, conscious beings stuffed in these virtual reality suits. And it's telling us, hey, if you want to finish the job here in the 10th dimension in Malchut and planet Earth, pay attention. Don't give away precious energy. The hologram of this 10th dimension, the desire for the self alone, is going to suck away your precious energy. Don't let it suck it away. But if it does get sucked away and we get bribed into, instant gratification, all that stuff, here's the method. Here's how you can reclaim it back, return it back. All the parts of our consciousness, our soul that we left in this trauma and that drama and that lie that my opponent has been telling me. The way I see it is that the opponent force is a predator and a captor. It kidnaps our consciousness, and just like somebody, God forbid, who does human trafficking, which, by the way, I think is a macrocosmic effect of our personal soul being hijacked by the opponent, captures us and says, nobody loves me, nobody wants me, I'm all alone, I better do these short-circuiting things to survive and listen to my opponent because my opponent's my only friend. And we get caught up into that. So even to the point now when we do tshuva and we identify with the opponent, that's the pain. No, you're not your opponent. You're not your addiction. You're not really unworthy, and you're not unloved. You're more loved than you could possibly imagine. I keep saying it again and again and again. You already have everything. Pay attention to that sentence. It appears above and below. What's above? What's below? Below is this world of illusion, the hologram, as I call it, since my near-death experience, where I went through my own teshuvah process, which, by the way, I will walk you through in the meditation after the break. The idea of teshuvah, restoring everything. What does restoring everything mean? I never lost it. Marcus, we never lost it. It's an illusion. You are the same brilliant light you've always been. But you got caught up with the lies of the opponent that you're not worthy, or I'm not. We all walk around, by the way, with shame. I'm not worthy. Some aspect of that. Because our captor, the opponent, has convinced us. Now, where did that come from? What does the opponent say? God doesn't love you. God abandoned you a long time ago. God doesn't love me. I must be unworthy. I must be unlovable. The power of teshuvah is amazing. Don't let the religiosity of the language, which that's why, we're discussing this particular verse. It can be so misconstrued with religious thinking. That we are the sin, that we're bad, whatever. Above means in consciousness. Below means cause, at the cause level, below the effect. So
I think the one word that always resonates, that when you're saying it hits me, is just the one verb, to restore.
Yeah,
that's the word, because the Zohar doesn't use the word become, right? Like a self-help thought. That you were bad, you've done some really dumb stuff, and who hasn't? We all have. And so you were stupid, you were dumb, but hell, you can become something better. So do this work and cleanse out the stupid past, and you can become this great version of the next level of yourself. And it's not that. That's why Kabbalah is so different in that sense to self-help work. It's you're restoring. You were born perfect. You're still perfect.
Exactly.
You've always been perfect. You will forever be perfect. But there's sometimes, through actions, words, and thoughts, is this kind of temporary field of energy around that perfection called a belief system. And it looks really convincing. And we can live in its kind of diminished illusion, as the Rav would say. But
there's layers of it. There's layers of it.
You just need to restore the truth.
Right.
Restore that perfection.
And this process is layers, right? So let's say this year, I get to a certain layer of understanding, peel away certain layers, peel away the garbage, right? That I thought I was this, but I'm not that, or I'm missing something. I'm missing money. I'm missing relationship. I'm missing love. I'm missing whatever it is. And if I go out there to get it, or if I do what you tell me to do, then maybe I will get it. There's nothing to get.
Yeah.
That's where we've got to, this is the month where it's like, oh my God, I've been lost. I keep trying to get something. No, it's about radiating our love. It's about giving. That's why charity is so important. That uncomfortable sharing is that makes us the master, to the extent that I can give and override the illusion of lack. The opponent's going to go nuts on me and say, no, what are you doing? You're crazy. No, that's how we reclaim. That's how we restore that which we never lost in the first place.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I know also you're into kind of prosperity principles, but you know, I think there's a great and perhaps a dangerous measurement of spiritual success where we say we want to get that thing, right? So, you know, what are your new goals, years, or resolutions? I want to get that thing. I want to, you know, attain that thing. I want to, you know, 3x my business. I want to find the soulmate. I want to have these kids. And by the way, it's even reinforced in the wishes that we have in Rosh Hashana, because you wish for, you know, money or sustenance, and you can wish for kids. And it seems that we're supposed to kind of attain these external things. And it's dangerous because the things that you want to get in your future, that the ego will say, yeah, look, fly off into your future and wish for those things and self-affirm every day. But actually, as you said, which comes back to one of the questions perhaps in the beginning, is that future is locked down into a piece of your past. And that's the kind of the physical game that we're playing. We want this future thing, but it's locked down into a piece because we know that if we track back our history, there have been events 1 year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, perhaps, you know, lifetimes ago, where particular actions have shut us down. All of us know that in a relationship, in a first relationship, when you get hurt, you shut down because you self-protect. And so a little piece of your soul, a piece of your perfection, a piece of your greatness is stuck in the past. And as much you might wish tomorrow for the future, the goals and dreams and aspirations, it can't happen because what you want is your soul. It's not the physical goal. You want your soul back. And that's the teshuvah. You want your soul back. You've got to restore your soul.
Never left your
soul. Light will give you the goal.
The piece of the soul that's been covered with garbage. So so let's talk about the 4 steps of teshuvah. You look on the screen, we'll just run by it real quick, and you know, Marcus, love to hear your opinion about it. Identify the negativity, feel the pain, go back in time, and commit to the future. So identify the negativity, right? This is I think the #1 misunderstood step. People hear that as identify my own badness, identify with a piece of garbage I am. It's too painful for me to see my weaknesses, to know how unworthy I am. And I hope by this point in our conversation, those who are listening, watching, you know more work of God, that you're not the negativity. It's the choices, the belief systems, things like that, or decisions we've made that we want to identify. And it's as much as we can identify is as much as we can reclaim and restore to us, right? When step 2, feel the pain. What are we feeling the pain of? Again, people can, depending on your filter, I hope you can hear me through the filter. Feel the pain of what a piece of garbage I am. Feel the pain. You know what pain we're feeling all the time, by the way, Marcus? We're feeling the pain of the inner critic voice. The inner critic voice is optional. Hello, it's optional. You don't have to allow that recording to go on and on and on and on. We can dismantle it. Now's the time. But you can't dismantle something that you don't even pay attention. Is it there? And it's like gnawing at us again, again, and again, reminding me I'm not enough. Oh, look how successful they are. I'm not enough. Oh, look how beautiful she is. I'm not enough. Oh, look, whatever it is. And we're not even paying attention that we're beating ourselves up. So when someone comes along and says, hey, your shoe's untied. What? Wait, don't tell me what to do. Duh! You don't love me. You don't care about me. You're just attacking me, right? golden opportunity. Feel the pain of what? What do we want to feel the pain? You know, and they say, feel the pain we caused others. You know, my personal opinion about this probably may not be, it may be a little controversial here. What if that person, I could just hear the Rav, by the way, in my, you know, my head. What if that person deserved the pain? What if I stepped on their foot and they deserve to have their foot stepped on? It's not between us and other people. The pain I feel is the pain that I turned my back on the Creator. I disavowed any knowledge of the Creator in that moment that I did that stupid thing, that I grabbed that food that I, you know, was not good for me, but I wanted to stuff my feelings, or had a cigarette, or you numb the pain, or had a drink because I didn't want to feel the suffering of my inner critic, right? And I didn't take responsibility for that. That's the only pain that really matters. It's the pain of turning our back to the Creator and going back in time to experience that behavior again is not for the purpose of beating myself up again. We shouldn't be beating ourselves up in the first place. It's to go back in time and rewrite the program. And as crazy or as illogical that may seem, we can do that. You know why? Because we're making it all up all from the beginning. This dimension doesn't even exist. It's a hologram. And we're pure consciousness, and we're programmers, and we're practicing to be like God. So we can go back in time, because you know what? There's no such thing as time. I experienced that when I had my near-death experience back in March, going to the upper world, the endless world, and I realized there's no such thing as time. We're making all this stuff up. It's beautiful. So, and then the commitment to the future is, you know what? I'm not going to stick my hand in the fire anymore. I realize that's a dumb thing to do. I'm just going to stop sticking my hand in the fire. You know what? It's good for me. It's good for my body. It's good for everyone for me to stop sticking my hand in the fire and make new choices. It's not about, I'm sorry, you forgive me. Oh, you do? I'm off the hook. I can go back to sleep. So confession is good for the soul.
There's a very, very dear friend of mine in London who is a real Virgo. And he once told me about your inner critic statement. He said, Marcus, there is nothing you could tell me that I don't tell myself 100 times a day already. And that, when he said that, it became so, wow, that's how the Virgo lives all year. And what's interesting is,
I think everybody lives like that. Not everybody, most people though, who don't know.
And why? Because one of the reasons is you're going to believe, you're going to listen to that voice of the inner critic if you do not hear the voice of your inner soul.
Exactly.
And of course it becomes this, you know, constant frustration and real phenomena that lives to just niggle every single second's experience. But the truth is, what's teshuvah? If you do the steps properly, you get back to, and by the way, the end of teshuvah is where you're tested, because the classroom is a laboratory. The 4 steps or the 20 steps or whatever is a laboratory. And when you walk out having done those steps and the light tests you again in that area, the question is, do you have a new desire?
Exactly.
Is that old issue stupid to you? As you look back on it, was meaningless. It was so unfulfilling.
It's so beneficial.
So unrewarding. And then you know that you've restored those sparks to your soul to reveal that real greatness. And then you have more and more the voice of your inner soul that will disintegrate eventually the voice of the inner critic. And again, we want one layer of inner critic because we want that constant generation of where to change from. But every time that second bite of the apple and the 5th voice and the 6th voice, and it becomes diminishing.
It reminds me, by the way, confession is good for the soul, right? So what's and you know, we're encouraged to do confession. So it's exactly what you're talking about. Confession, though, is not about confessing that I'm an idiot. I think I'm really an idiot. Confession is, I'm confessing, I'm telling on my opponent. My opponent is telling me I'll never be successful. My opponent is telling me that you could never love me, so I can't open my heart to you. My opponent is telling me, don't make a commitment because, you know, I'll experience abandonment and pain and suffering. I keep confessing. I'm telling on my captor. I'm telling on my blackmailer. That's the essence of confession. Confession really is good for the soul. Now, we got to wrap this up in a couple of minutes, but I just want to bring in some pieces together. Let's say you are, or me, all of us, by the way, there are things we know we do and things we don't even realize we do that are self-sabotaging, right? Okay, I know I hurt that person. I know I stabbed that person in the back. I know and I did all those things. Those are the ones I know about. Well, what about the millions of things I don't know what I did? And this is why this system is so brilliant. This is why we have the tools. This is why we have tefillah, where the tefillah is the think of the lights on the runway, where it allows our consciousness to take off, to guide us to that place called to that place called Yuli, right? That the Kabbalists talk about, the Ari talks about, that place before, when that bridge between a wave and a particle, the Kabbalists, before the physicists came up with it in the last, whatever, 50, 80 years, but the Kabbalists do this for 1,000 years. There's that place called Yuli. There's that bridge between energy and matter, right? That's what going back in time is about. It's about going back to that place where we want to take that sandcastle, we're going to mush it up, go back to the undifferentiated state and build a new castle, a new reality. We have that power. And how do we have that power? Well, there's things we know about, things we don't know about. But the things we don't know about, that's why we have tzedakah. When you're doing your tzedakah, your charity, please know you're not doing anyone a favor but yourself. It is the giver that benefits, as the Zohar explains to us. So you take that charity, and that coming from a place of giving way more than I feel I'm able to give, that's the magic place. That's the place that takes us right back to Yuli, right back to that bridge. And we say, creator force, take this act of sacrifice, or what I believe is sacrifice, even though we own nothing and everything is going to, that sacrifice, and put it on my negativity, put it on the klipot and demolish it. And then we have the shofar, we hear the sound of the shofar, which is multidimensional. We only hear it from the spectrum of our 5 senses. Hearing the sound of the shofar every morning until Yom Kippur, we hear the shofar, and that shofar is like breaking the klipot, like Joshua blowing the shofar to take down the walls of Jericho. Those walls are the walls that surround our heart, so that prevent us from radiating our magnificent immortal selves in this world. We are so incredible beings. You are way more powerful, way more loved, way more infinite than you have any idea. And I encourage you to start thinking in that direction and understand not to be the reactive recipient of this information. No, be the master. Be the master of your life. This is what the Kabbalists, this is what the Torah, this is the whole system of Kabbalah is giving us. Don't just be a slave to somebody's religious instructions. You have the power to create the life you want, and here are the tools. Marcus, thank you so much for joining today.
Can I add one thing?
Sure.
Just because you triggered something. There's something the Zohar says as well, which is beautiful. It says that you know, as you said exactly, how on earth can you cover all the invisible things that you don't know that you've done, right? And the Zohar says, if you make so much effort into the things that you have done, the light has to stretch back and clean all the things that you haven't seen.
The light is our shadow. Absolutely.
And that is so powerful. And so, you know, you can run through these 4 steps, like we said, religiously and get nowhere, but you can do them with such depth that slicha, that forgiveness, if you like, of your own restoration creates such rachamim, such positivity, where you feel so much love.
That's
and
the
such
idea.
son, where you feel such a different desire, that you've strengthened your soul purpose and your soul belief, that then you know that you've got the slicha, the real forgiveness and restoration. And I would say that's the depth that the Zohar is suggesting to do this, as opposed to the tick box that you could do it as.
Thank you. So let's now do the meditation. we're going to focus on Yud Kei Vav Kei. If you're going to look at the screen, I mentioned the state called Atika. Atika is a window. I want you to think of it as a window. And if you look at the 10 Sefirot, you know, Keter is the closest thing we know to Creator's force. And there's actually a level called the concealed of the concealed, which you'll learn about in the future classes of this series. And in that window, it says, I mentioned earlier, we're going to go back to the source of the source. And I want you to think about your life, all your lifetimes, what you think you came to this world to be, to do, to have, to show, to radiate. And ask before we get started, as you look at the letters of the Yud Kei Vav Kei, which is the merciful connection to the creator force, right? Mercy from our perspective. God is always loving, always sharing. But from our perspective, we want to go through life in a frame or a filter of mercy. Opening your heart, asking your spirit guides, asking the Rav and Karen of or the creator force itself, you know, ask for help. What do I need right now? What will help me change my destiny in the coming year? So here's what's going to happen. We're going to go through a series of relaxation exercises, and then you're going to invite your spirit guide to lovingly escort you to the endless world, where you're going to have a life review from your perspective and then from the light's perspective. So you have an opportunity, a bird's eye view, you might say, of your life from a loving, very loving perspective, to allow, and if you allow, it will come to you. Don't try to force this process. I encourage you to just let go, and whatever shows up, and find out what you can do to go to your next level of spiritual development. So you ready? Please make sure you shut off your phones and all distractions. Please do not listen to this if you are operating heavy machinery, like driving or anything like that. Making an intention to truly focus on what I'm saying. Remember that the opponent force does not want you to have this experience. So therefore, I'll give your soul aspect of yourself the strength to override that. Now, let's begin. After looking at the Yud Kei Vav Kei, just drink it in. Just let it, breathe it into your being. Imagine your head is the Yud, your shoulders and the arms are the Hey, the torso is the Vav, your hips and legs are the second Hey. And then just sit back as you put that on. Sit back, relax, and breathe deeply into the bottom of your belly, the lower part of your belly. Do your best to breathe into it. And as you're breathing, allow yourself to just look up 30 degrees above the plane level. Just want to look up, let your eyes just look up. Don't strain your eyes. Breathe and looking up. Pick a point on the ceiling. Just sit back and just keep breathing deeply at your own pace. No forcing, but just breathing deeply in, expanding your lower belly. And as you exhale, squeeze your lower belly. And then breathing in again as you look up, as if you were thinking of something, as if you were daydreaming. Just keep looking up like that. A few more seconds of breathing and looking up. Maybe you're looking up and trying to memorize the Yud Kei Vav Kei, or saying the Yud Kei, Yud and the Hey and the Vav and the Hey in your mind, visualizing it as you're looking up and breathing, and relax. And now relax your upper eyelids, closing them gently against your lower lids. You can feel your focus shifting inward. Keep focusing on your breath, on your innermost thoughts. Every gentle breath makes you feel more and more relaxed. With every inhale, inhaling relaxation, and exhaling anything that interferes with that. Inhaling relaxation, exhaling, letting go of any attachments to control. Again, inhaling. Every inhale, inhaling relaxation deeper and deeper, and exhaling control and attachment. Let it go. Letting the relaxation in your eyes and forehead spread to your face, back of your head, jaw, neck, shoulders, all deeply and beautifully relaxed. Remember, from now on in this meditation, every inhale is relaxation, another level, deeper and deeper level of relaxation, and every exhale is more and more letting go. Feel the relaxation spread even further down your arms, from your shoulders, through your elbows, your forearms, and your wrists, into your hands. Feel the relaxation as your fingers and fingertips relax completely. Relax. Relaxation from your shoulders all the way down to the tips of your fingers. Now allow the relaxation you feel in your head and neck and shoulders and arms all the way down to the tips of your fingers. And now it begins to spread all throughout your body. All the way down, feeling relaxation. You may feel a tingling sensation or just this gentle feeling, a positive feeling of relaxation in your shoulders and chest, your upper back, your middle body, your lower back, your abdomen, all the way down into your waist. More and more relaxed, deeper and deeper into relaxation, into your entire body, all the way down past your feet, feeling deeply relaxed and comfortable. Feel your feet growing roots into the ground, feeling more and more relaxed, all deeply relaxed and comfortable. Deeply and beautifully relaxed, comfortable from the top of your head down to the tip of your fingers, down to the tips of your toes. Toes more and more, relaxing more and more with each gentle breath. As you breathe out, you're breathing out a bubble of light, expanding out from you, from your heart. Breathing in love and breathing out light force energy surrounding you, a bubble of protection, keeping you positively protected through this exercise. Feeling the light force that is emanating from your heart, spreading out more and more, a bubble of light. And now picture, imagine your spirit guide in its own bubble of light, a beautiful spirit guide, loving energy that surrounds you, protects you lovingly, through loving you thoroughly in its bubble of light that is surrounding you. It becomes one with you. Your spirit guide is here to help you. And on your next exhale, imagine that you allow this loving force to guide you to the endless world. You were there in an instant. Now you're surrounded in a sea of love, floating in pure love. Ah, love, pure loved. Every inch of your being, every molecule of your being, every spark of consciousness of who you are is now thoroughly bathing, drinking, floating in a sea of love, this beautiful light, and you feel at home. Wow, it feels so indescribably comforting and joyful. Whatever fears or doubts or uncertainties or any sadness or hurt or bitterness that you may have held on to while in that body, that virtual reality suit that you left behind in the chair, now you're free. Feeling what it feels like to be free, flexing your spiritual muscles, floating, feeling your body gently melting away back in the chair. Don't worry, you'll get it later. Just now bathe in a sea of love. Allow yourself to feel comfortably and completely accepted and valued for who you are. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You are loved. There's no mistakes. There's nothing you can do to screw this up. You are just loved. Allow yourself to experiencing the overwhelming desire of love. In fact, you're filled with so much love, it's now spilling out of your being. And all you want to do is emanate love. You are back into the arms of creation, in your special place of creation. And you now are pure consciousness, connected to all that is in your place in creation. And you now realize that you have your own unique job to do in this world in elevating the collective consciousness of humanity. You now realize you're a spark of creation as well as every other spark. And all of those sparks together are part of God. No matter what the outside looks like, everyone is a spark of God. And you now realize you have your own unique job to do. And nobody can do your job but you. Everything you think, every emotion you generate, every action you perform has consequences for you and the rest of humanity. Don't worry, you are loved no matter what. Earth is just a simulation program. You're now home in the endless world. Home. And it feels so good to be home. As you look down at the earth and it looks like a hologram, you see it for what it is. None of it is real. Everything in earth is temporary. Where you are right now is reality. You are home and you are immortal. You are pure consciousness. You are a pure consciousness being. Your spirit guide now leads you to show you what you've been up to in the holographic dimension of earth. So imagine now your life flashing before your eyes, every moment being lived again, especially those painful moments, those tikkun moments. Those are the opportunities. What were you focused on? What parts of your life were the most important to you so far? Who hurt you? Who did you hurt? What were the ramifications of your actions? There's no right or wrong here. Whatever shows up, it could be a million things or just one incident that defined you. Let it all download to you in an instant. You are an immortal being. How did you spend that immortal energy on earth? Did you believe in those incidences that they defined you? What story did you live by? What was your belief system up until this moment on planet Earth? Were you believing that you were unworthy or not enough? Are you holding on to a story about what happened to you? What conclusions or assumptions have you made about yourself? Have you made about your life? Live it. If there are regrets, feel the pain of them. It's okay. If there were trauma, allow yourself to go through that movie because you're safe here in the endless world. It's just your avatar going through a simulation. Now let that shut down, let that close down, and now your spirit guide gives you special glasses. Put on those glasses. Those glasses show you what your life is meant to be from your soul's perspective, from the Creator's point of view, the Creator that loves you unceasingly every moment and has never left your side, has only been loving you, watching over you, been with you every step of the way as you've been going through the simulation on earth. Now, look at your life again from the beginning until now, from the point of view of these new glasses, this new point of view, this new lens, the point of view that you are immortal and all life on earth is merely a simulation program. What lessons were you meant to learn? What was the purpose of your incarnation on earth? What were the important things maybe that you missed? What did you give value to that was temporary and did not pay attention to those things that are actually permanent, long-lasting, or meaningful? From the new lens, where was your heart supposed to be? When was it covered? Can you uncover it? In what way? What's the message for you? Compare your old perspective to this new perspective. Now, is it possible that you may be now at this point thinking, oh my God, I believed in the illusion. Now, if you are feeling that way, if you are feeling ashamed, maybe the choices you made, and you're standing, more importantly, in the presence of the creator force that is so loving, unceasingly loving you no matter what. And perhaps you can take this time, if you choose, here's your opportunity to forgive yourself, as the creator has already forgiven you a long time ago. Because it's just a simulation and you're just learning. That's all it is. You're simply practicing the art of radiating love in the face of illusionary challenges in the hologram. That's all it is. And from that perspective, what are the new choices are you empowered yourself to make now when you return? Once you return back to the simulation program from this new perspective, you can tell where you left sparks of your soul, sparks of light, and you left them in those illusionary places and those traumas and dramas that really actually weren't real to begin with, because only eternity is real. And you feel whole again with this new understanding and this clarity of what you are meant to do on earth. Breathe that in. Feel how immortal you are, how limitless you really, really are, and what true reality feels like. Feeling so happy and grateful for this moment, for this opportunity to have new clarity, to reclaim your power, to return to your pure and perfect self, your soul-like nature, and making a new decision to radiate the unceasing love in the next part of your incarnation back on earth. Now you could thank your spirit guide and anyone or anything else you encountered in this dimension. As you begin the descent, allow yourself to descend back into your body. There's no such thing as time. Everything is only now. The past, the present, the future, it's all an illusion. It's all now. New decision creates a new reality now. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5, and at the count of 5, you will be fully back in your body, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before, feeling the way you feel when you've had the right amount of sleep, relaxed, refreshed, rejuvenated, feeling back in your chair, back with a new sense of clarity and purpose. 1, 2, coming up slowly now. 3, feeling yourself back in your body. 4, feeling your body back in your chair. 5, eyes open, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before, with a new sense of clarity and purpose. I want to thank you for this opportunity to be with you today and to share with my good friend Marcus Weston the wisdom that we have and this journey that you can repeat on Kabbalah.com. You can go back and repeat it again and again and again as many times as you like, if you like. And now, David, I'm going to say goodbye now.
How did you find that meditation? That was pretty intense. You know, I mentioned to you earlier that I used to study Hinduism and they taught meditation, but that was a pretty good one. Meditation is very good for you. Helps you to calm your mind. For those of you who are just joining us, you've been listening to Diaspora Connection featuring Kabbalah for Jamaicans. My name is Joshua. We're here every Tuesday and Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. in Jamaica. And you were just listening to another lecture preparing us for Rosh Hashana, which occurs Monday, begins Monday evening, September 22nd, Tuesday and Wednesday, September 23rd and 24th. If you would like to experience Rosh Hashanah the Kabbalistic way, give me a call at country code +1 516 965 5700, or you may go to our website www.kabbalahforjamaicans.com, and there you look under the news tab and you'll see well, it's not posted there yet, but the Zoom link is there. But send me a text. Say you've been listening and you'd like to experience Rosh Hashanah, maybe for the first time. Remember, Rosh Hashanah is the beginning of the new year, beginning of the new cycle. And it is an opportunity for us to live a new life. Yes? But you have to prepare for it. And the preparation is knowledge, introspection, and understanding about the possibilities that exist for you to live a different life. Because how much money you're going to make, what kind of relationships you're going to have, and whether you're going to live is decided during those 2 days. Believe it or not.
Okay, I fit you. I one way you used to use before.
So I wanted to share with you that I'm going to be attending the Rebel Salute Festival in Miramar, Florida. Yes, I'm going to be attending the Rebel Salute Reggae Festival in Miramar, Florida. Now, Rebel Salute has historically only occurred in Jamaica. But this time, for the first time, it's going to be in Miramar, Florida. Okay? So, we're going to be going there this year to give out Zohars. Yes, to give out Zohars. That is our intention, to give out Zohars. Here is the flyer, one of the flyers for the event. Yes. Maxi Priest, headliner of Tony Rebel, Queen Africa, Chalice, Mikey Spice, Louis Culture, Michael Rose, and many, many more. So if you're in the Florida region, September 28th, Sunday, September 28th, come and take a look at us at our booth that we're going to have there, the Kabbalah for Jamaica booth. and get your free Zohar. So that brings us to the top of the hour. Remember, we're here every Tuesday and Wednesday night, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Jamaica time, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern. Join us again for another episode of Kabbalah for Jamaicans, where we continue to share and prepare for Rosh Hashana. We'll be doing the same thing next week. Will be the last week before Rosh Hashana. So more preparatory lectures next week. Again, this is Joshua signing off. Until next time, walk good and be well. Blessings and love. Good night.